Hi beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be an exciting video because we're going to be talking about my 2023 depth year plans I had, what I did, what I didn't do, and then my plans for 2024. So I'm going to be reflecting on the past year. I'm going to be talking about my plans for the new year. This video is a little bit late. It is currently the 3rd. I'm hoping to post it today. Hopefully I don't have too many cuts or anything because I just want to here you go. I just want to kind of talk through this and not have to like make a bunch of edits because I just want to get this up. But anyways, I feel like I kind of abandoned a lot of my structure and stuff last year as far as my spiritual practice goes. So we're going to talk about journaling, we're going to talk about year ahead spreads, we're going to talk about all of that fun stuff. So I suppose let's talk about last year first, and then kind of move into my goals and stuff for this year. So this is my journal from last year. I love it. I put the sticker on it and it says Witch Mystic Priestess. I love it. I had the witches planner or something like from Llewellyn, and that started off really strong and then I fell off of that. So I'm trying not to overwhelm myself with like journals and all this kind of stuff and planners and everything. I don't have a planner. I've never really been able to stick to a planner. So anyways, so this says 2023 on it. I'm going to add another one that says 2024 because I am not done with this, as you can see. I actually started off really strong in this journal with my journaling and everything, and then it really fell off. So I want to continue writing in this. It fell off, and then a few months ago I started really journaling again. So probably like half of this has been in just the past few months that I've filled up. And it's less aesthetic. It's, like I think this is good enough for the aesthetics. I was like really trying to make every little page cute, and I just don't think that that's like sustainable for me long term. I love aesthetics as much as the next gal, but it's just a little much for me right now to do all that, and I just want to like word vomit a lot of times when I'm journaling, so it's not always pretty. I just want to get the thoughts out. I want to write what's on my mind. So anyways, this was the journal that I picked for last year, and I love it. So one of my main goals in 2023 was to read 40 books. So that is why this is right here. I need to finish filling it out because I read 41 books in 2023. So I hit my goal with one to spare. So I was really proud of that. I just wanted to kind of keep track in here. So I'm going to have to go back in and fill this out. So that was one of my kind of really tangible goals that I hit. So I'm really proud of that. And then what do we have? So then I have my year ahead spread. So my goddess of the year was Durga, I believe, and I didn't work with that energy at all. So I'm not going to be doing that for this year. But I did do a year ahead spread for 2023, and to be honest, you guys, I didn't work with this hardly at all. I think I did the first few months. I was like putting the cards out on my desk to keep track of, and then the rest of the year it just kind of fell off. I did like reference it throughout the year to kind of like look back and see if there was anything of note. I do feel like it was pretty spot on, but I don't have anything to kind of track specifically how each month went like I did in 2022. In 2022, I made a video every single month of my favorites and my reflections, and I like talked about the cards I pulled, how they pertain to my month. I would like do predictions at the beginning of the month of what I thought the cards would mean for me, and then I did kind of a reflection at the end of the month to like talk about how they actually manifested in my month. So I'm doing something different this year, so we'll get to that when I talk about this year, because this just didn't work. It was really fun to do it. I think it's something I enjoy doing, a year ahead spread, even if it's just to look at kind of a few times in the year. I think I want to continue doing it, but this year I have something a lot more exciting, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, it was cute to do this, and I think this coming year I definitely want to do more like favorites videos every month. So my card of the year for 2023 was Judgment. Like, if you calculate the like the year and your birthday and all that, I don't know exactly how to do it right off the top of my head, but it was Judgment, and I was gonna put a picture here, which I never did. But yeah, Judgment was definitely the year of Judgment for me. And then back here, I just had like my tarot wish list for 2023, and I got everything on here. So I got the Brian Froud Fairies Oracle. I have the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle, which I finally got for Christmas. Egyptian Art Nouveau, Steampunk Art Nouveau, Citadel Oracle, and then I got the Goblins and Gardens Tarot. So I still don't have the Super Oracle. I have an ongoing list in my phone notes, but I just don't have like a burning tarot oracle wish list right now, because that's just like not the direction my practice is going at this point. And then this was just a little cheat sheet for all the new and full moons for 2023, which I abandoned my moon practice, and I made a video kind of recently talking about like drastic measures and how I felt like I abandoned my practice and stuff like that, and I feel like it was detrimental to me. So let's talk about reflecting with my depth year plans here. So number one was be a spiritual advisor, like astrology. I just wanted to be somebody that like people came to for all of their like astrological questions or spiritual questions, witchy questions, ghost questions. I just wanted to be like a wealth of knowledge for people, and I wanted to dive more into astrology. So I did not deep dive into astrology last year, so that's something I really didn't do. I do feel like I have already kind of established this spiritual advisor niche, I guess, or like the role of that in my life, because a lot of people do come to me and ask questions that are of a spiritual nature. And I love that. I love being that, so I'm just going to continue like filling that role. Weave more spells and witchcraft into daily life. I feel like I did do this. So, you guys will be seeing a video soon where I was talking about how I spiritually cleanse. So that is something that I do. I do it, ritually. I do it all of the time because it's something that I just need to do. So that's something I keep up with. I also wear a lot of like jewelry as witchcraft or as a spiritual tool for me. That is like a big part of my practice is jewelry. And I want to talk about that in an upcoming video about how I spiritually protect. So I feel like I spiritually cleansed and spiritually protected all throughout the year, and just did little things here and there that were like of spiritual nature. I brought in more items to integrate into my practice. I would do things like I would work with a thunderstorm, or I would work with different weather in my practice. So I do feel like that was something I did, just more of like an intuitive, natural way. But I fell off with like working with the moon, and that really affected me. So like one of my big goals for this coming year, which I'll show you guys, is to work with the moon again, because it's something that I think I need to do to like keep a level head and like understand how I'm feeling and stuff like that. It really helped me gauge like my emotions. I feel like I am very affected by the moon. So I guess for context, in 2022, I worked with every new and full moon. I was aware of like the new and full moons coming up, and that was like life-changing for me. And then in 2023, I really like fell off. I felt like, oh, well, I'm fixed. Like, I don't need to have a structured practice with tarot or with my spirituality. Like, I'm just going to do it when I feel like it. And that was a mistake, because I talked about this in my other video, but it's like antibiotics. You finish taking your antibiotics, even if you feel better, because there might be some infection lingering. And that's what I feel like my practice is. It needs to be proactive, things that I do to prevent feeling bad or whatever. So Anyways, read 40 books, which we already talked about that. I did accomplish that. Okay. Live a more analog life. So this is where I feel like the judgment card comes in as my definite card of the year for 2023. This has been like a big point of shadow work for me, of contention, of like, I feel like just the theme of 2023 for me was like struggling with our modern world and feeling like it was like I was wasting my life and things like that. And so I did a huge cleanse of like social media. I deleted everything off my phone, including YouTube. I have since re-downloaded YouTube, and that's the only like social media I have on my phone. And yeah, I've like pretty much purged all short form content out of my phone. Like, I don't have Instagram anymore. I don't have Facebook. I don't have TikTok. I don't have any of those things where I can like scroll for hours and hours. And even like YouTube Shorts is a problem. So I try to like avoid them when I'm on the YouTube app. So this is just something I want to continue, and you guys will see that in my 2024. But like, just living life as if technology isn't the center of it. And yeah, I almost yearn for like a time before this like instant gratification that we have. And I find myself a lot more peaceful, a lot more calmed when I'm just like doing daily tasks or living my life without being like stuck in my phone or watching TV or whatever it is. So that is just something that I'm going to continue to work on. I feel like I had some really big like come to Jesus moments, or like huge just like eye-opening experiences this past year where I was like, what the heck am I doing? It was almost like another spiritual awakening, another eye-opening experience where I just was like, this is not how I want to live my life. So yes. And then my next goal here is eat healthy and lose more weight. So I definitely have maintained, for the most part, the weight that I lost in 2020. Was it 2022? Yeah. I lost weight in 2022, and then I did lose a little bit of weight this year, but for the most part, I've just been maintaining. I haven't been like eating super unhealthy in the way that I have in the past. So I feel like this is definitely a working goal. I just feel like that wasn't the main thing that I really wanted to focus on in 2023. I felt like there were some other things that needed to be dealt with. So anyways, that might be something that I work on next year. It's not like a main goal of mine, but it might be something I work on depending on some things. But anyways, my next one was declutter deck collection and life to staples/loves. So this is something that I have been working on, again, actively. I haven't sold or gotten rid of any tarot decks or oracle decks this year, but I haven't brought in a ton either. I don't know the exact number I brought in, but it's very minimal compared to like past years. And I feel like it's just going to continue to go down. But what I've done is I've kind of like organized my collection to where I have like main decks down here below my desk, and then I have like a majority of my collection up on the shelf. And that has kind of helped me to like, I don't know, it's like helps me figure out what I want to work with. If I'm feeling like I want a deck that's up there, then that means that I'm like thinking about it. So it obviously like needs to be worked with or whatever. But in other areas of my life, like I cleared out my closet to like only the things I wear, and I like put a bunch of my clothes away. Like my makeup collection, I've like culled down. So this has been something I've definitely done and worked on, is just getting rid of things that like don't serve me or don't like aren't playing a big role in my life right now. It just makes, for me, like a lot of choices is overwhelming. So if I just have like a set amount of things to pick from, like clothes wise, makeup wise, whatever, then it's just, it calms my anxiety. So that's kind of why I've organized my deck collection the way I have. So that's definitely something that I feel like I've accomplished. And the last one is work on personal style. excuse me, I have like a frog in my throat, so just getting some water. But work on personal style is definitely something that I feel like was a big accomplishment for me. I just feel like I've kind of blossomed and like grown into my style, what I like to wear, how I like to present myself, how I like to do my hair. I feel like I really have like started to feel like myself a lot more in how I present myself. Like I feel like how I am on the inside, which I feel like I'm this like unique magical person on the inside. I feel like I'm starting to show that more on the outside with like the jewelry I wear, very intentional clothing, just accessories, whatever it is. I just want to like exude the energy that I feel on the inside. And I feel like that has really, I've really like come into my own in that way. I'm really like excited about how I dress and like present myself now. And I'm really like content and happy with that. So overall, 2023 was a good year. Again, I did have a lot of like anxious moments. I feel like more so in 2023 than I had in 2022. 2022 was like the best year ever. It was when we moved to our beautiful home here. Our home has gotten a lot more finished. Our kitchen's pretty much done, which is kind of like the main thing we've worked on this past year. We've gotten like a nice fridge. We got a nice new couch. So it just feels like things are progressing in a really beautiful way in life. And yeah, I mean, 2023 definitely had its ups and downs. I would say overall it's a good year. I'm not going to like say it's a bad year. It wasn't. But I just feel like there was a lot of like shadow work done for me personally in 2023. So yeah, that's kind of like the depth year plans. I feel like I did overall like a good amount of what my list was. But I feel like the things that needed to happen, the things I needed to learn, I did. So that was my depth year plans. I'm just going to stick it back in the back of this journal here. Okay, so let's talk about my year ahead spread for 2024. So this is totally not my idea. I got this from Lisa Papez here on YouTube, but I decided to do the year ahead spread in like these envelopes. So basically the idea behind this is that it's more intentional with your year ahead spread. So there's 12 envelopes here, and I pulled a tarot and an oracle card for each month of the year for 2024. So I did my year ahead spread, but I didn't look at the cards. Some of them I accidentally saw, but I feel like I might forget by the time the month comes. And I had a really fun time. My mom bought me a like wax seal kit last year for Christmas, and I love it. I love writing letters. So this was a really fun way to like use all the different colors of wax I have. So I like very intentionally, very ritualistically, it was almost like a meditation for me. I sat down, I did the reading, like the year ahead spread. I pulled the cards for each month, and I sealed the envelopes, and I picked the colors, and I had like candles burning and music playing. It was really beautiful little like meditation ritual that I did. So I'm going to show you guys the decks that I use. But yeah, I just had a lot of fun picking out all the different colors. So February, we have that beautiful pink. So for the tarot deck I used this copy of the Druidcraft. So the thing about this is that you're going to have to pick a tarot deck or oracle deck that you are okay with not having the full deck. So the reason I picked the Druidcraft is because I think this is a beautiful deck, and I actually have another copy of this. So if I feel like I want to use it for another reason, I still have my other copy. This is my like rebacked, super modified version that I did. I think this was my first mod I ever did. Yeah, it is. Anyway, this deck has a beautiful large guidebook. So what I am so excited about is each month, and I'm pretty sure, so January, I'm pretty sure I didn't accidentally, but 2 cards popped out for the tarot. So I just went with it because I was like, I felt like those needed to be worked with. But anyways, I feel like it'll be a really beautiful practice to work with the big guidebook. I love the guidebook for the Druidcraft, but I haven't done a lot of like deep dive with it. And I feel like this is a deck that I just don't work with a lot because I mean, it is one of my favorite decks, but it's just like the tactile experience for me. Even when I like rebought it, retrimmed it again, it just is not ideal for me. But it has some of the most beautiful artwork ever. It's one of my favorite decks again. It's like an RWS witchy druid themed deck. So that is the tarot deck that I picked. And then I also pulled an oracle deck. So this was a little bit harder for me because this is one of my favorite oracle decks of all time. You guys have heard me talk about it over and over. This is the Witch's Oracle. It's by Sally Morningstar. It's a small deck in the first place, but I pulled 12 cards from this deck and sealed them in the envelopes. But you know what? I feel like this is going to give me a wonderful way to work with this deck in a deep way. I've already worked this deck in a deep way. It has a beautiful guidebook again, so I'm excited to use that as I do this like year ahead spread every month. And I feel like this deck, you know, it's still like usable. I think there's like 30 cards left, so it's still usable. And then like, of course, as I go through each month, I'll be able to add a card back into the deck. So I'm not too sad about that because but this deck is like one of my all-time favorite decks ever. And I just thought it would give me a good reason to like really go deep with it this year. And yeah, so I'm excited each month to open the envelope and to work with the cards with their guidebooks. So March, I did like this little green for St. Patrick's Day. April, kind of like the start of spring. May is my birth month, so I picked like this really pretty pink. June, July, August, that's a really pretty one. September, October, November, and December. So I think my plan with this is to open them like kind of towards the end of the month and use it as more of like a reflection practice, maybe towards like the middle to the end of the month. And I definitely want to do that like with you guys. So I think I might do it in like the favorites video or like just a reflections video and open it with you guys, maybe like on camera, and work through the guidebook that way. The guidebooks that way kind of, I don't know. I feel like I absorb things a little bit better when I'm filming them and talking about them. So that's how I'm doing my year ahead spread, and I'm so excited about it. I feel like it's definitely something that's going to keep me engaged. So let's talk about my 2024 goals. I feel like these were a little bit more abstract, I guess, in nature. Not super, I don't know, not super, like, hard to accomplish, but then again, it could be. So, number one is live a more analog life and be present in the moments. That is just a carryover. I feel like it's just something I still need to improve on a little bit more, still have work to do with. And then my goal for reading is to read 40 books. I feel like last year, 40 was a really good number to not feel like I had to just read books to, like, beat the goal. It was a really enjoyable number for me to actually, like, enjoy the books and not feel like I wasn't going to be able to read enough. So obviously it'd be cool if I beat that number, but I just don't want to put pressure on myself in something like that. Like, I do want to continue to read because it's something that's, like, relaxing for me, and I feel like I want to push myself to read more just because I know it's something that makes me feel better, and sometimes I, like, forget that. I forget that it's, like, relaxing and it helps my anxiety. So anyways, read 40 books. It's something I enjoy. It's not something I'm trying to, like, beat a goal all the time and, like, try to, like, read the most books. That's not my goal with reading. It's to just, like, enjoy life, because reading does truly help me, and it does help me with the, like, live a more analog life goal, because reading to me is, like, different. It truly is, like, a relaxing experience, and so I try to, like, do things where I pull out my book or my Kindle instead of my phone when I'm waiting or when I'm doing something, or, like, on my lunch breaks, whatever. So that is a goal. And then I have be a light and be happy. So this is kind of like along this be a spiritual advisor. I just want to be a light for others, like a beacon of hope, a beacon of happiness. And I just posted a video on this channel where I was talking about like body image and doing like a little reading and kind of like a healing energy video. And I definitely want to do more things like that, because I find that like when I'm going through hard things, if I can kind of like process them and maybe share my advice, it actually is like really healing for me. And then I love to like be that for other people. Of course, to like inspire others. I just want to be like a breath of fresh air, like a happiness serum. Like, I don't know. I just want to be like a light to those around me and try to be happy and bring happiness in every moment. I feel like something I've really worked on in 2023 is like trying to like view life as it being good and being something precious, even in like the hard moments. And I feel like that's just a continuation of this. So super excited about that one. The next one is don't abandon spiritual practice. And I have that circled and I have like a bunch of explanation points, because that is like integral and like the most important part, I feel like, of this new year, is to don't abandon my spiritual practice. I feel like when you have a spiritual practice, or you're religious or whatever, when you're spiritual or connected to something else and you like have that belief and you have that faith, it really can help you through most hardships in life. So I just want to have like a really structured, like regular practice in place, so that I have something to go to like when I need it. Like today's a really hard day, and so I'm going to sit here and do like some self-care reading and like try to really like process through my feelings after this video, because I have my practice to go to. That's something like sometimes I forget. I'm like, okay, well, I can go and like sit and be with my spirit guides and just like go to them for help, right? Sometimes I feel like we forget like that's what we have to help us. So don't abandon spiritual practice is like number one. It's like the biggest thing that I want to make sure I do. All right. So this next one is work with the moon. So this is one that I feel like is like the most structured part of my practice. I don't want to like try to set in stone like doing a daily reading, doing a weekly reading of any kind, but I do need to do moon readings for myself every month. So what I did is I bought the Moonology diary, and I bought the new Moonology deck. I'm still like debating if I want the manifestations one. The OG here is this one. So these two are going to be like the main decks I use for my moon practice, obviously. I also want to do like astrology. Like I've been really loving my heavenly bodies lately, so definitely going to bring that in. So this basically is just like a journal to help me work with the moon and like keep me accountable. And I think it gives me dates and stuff, so that's really going to be helpful. I think there was one I already missed that was like the end of 2023, but I didn't really want to like, I really wanted to wait until the new year to do that. Yeah, because the full moon was at the end of that. So January, last quarter. So I need to like fill this out. What am I grateful for this week? And it kind of just gives you info. The new moon. So what date is the new moon? January 11th. Okay. And I love this because this is pretty much like how I worked with the moon in 2022. I did my like new moon intentions and manifestations, and then I did like my full moon reflections. Yeah. Forgiveness. Yeah. So I think this will be really exciting to do. I'm glad that it's like, it's less overwhelming. It's just kind of like a few questions and stuff. It's not like me just having to like wing it or like make something up. And it tells me obviously like it's a new moon in whatever, and it gives me like the astrological sign, which I love. I love that there's also like a little what are you grateful for this week little thing here. I actually have a gratitude journal separate, so that'll be fun, like overall, like what am I grateful for in the week. This is something I want to do every single day. So this is the last one, which is gratitude and intention. So I just want everything in my life to be more intentional. The choices I make, the purchases I make, the actions, the how I treat people, how I talk to people, and then gratitude, practicing gratitude. So I decided to, and this is something that like I was like, oh, I need to buy a gratitude journal. But what I did was I went into my little stash because I actually design these journals. So there will be some, not this specific one, but I have some other designs that I've made that will be going up in my Etsy shop when I reopen that. I'm not 100% sure when that's going to happen, but anyways, gratitude is something that like I feel like it's such a healing thing and it really like helps you. And so that's why I wanted to pick something that I already had, because like gratitude's about being happy with what you have. So I went and I found this journal and I was like, this is perfect, because I wouldn't sell it just because like the gradient of the print is like kind of messed up on the bottom here. It's really hard to tell, but it's still really beautiful. But I just wanted to keep it for myself. I love this color pink. It's my favorite color. I love the backs. I love the sun with the third eye. And this is going to be my gratitude journal. I think I'm going to like color this in with colored pencils, but every day I'm just going to write the date and something I am grateful for, because it just reminds you again of like things you already have, things in your life that are good, that like without needing other things. And I feel like it's just a really beautiful practice. And yeah. As far as other goals, like I would really like to continue posting and like be consistent with that, because I feel like it keeps me busy. It keeps me like accountable in things, and it's like a healing thing for me. I've already like come to the conclusion and told you guys that I'm not going to try to like make my channels a revenue income of any like sort for myself, or like try to make money off of it, but I would like to like start doing my pick a card readings again on my other channel to try to bring in some traction to my Etsy shop again, because that is like a little added income that helps, especially like I didn't really feel the loss until like recently, because I have closed my shop for a few months and it's just been a lot because I've been working less. When I was working more, it made sense for me to shut the shop down because it was just like too much for me to try to do readings when I was also working a lot. But now that I haven't been working very much, I'm like, okay, well that did help me like in the interim when I wasn't working for income. So yeah, and I really do love doing tarot readings. I feel like I'm a little out of practice, so I'm definitely going to film some pick a card reading readings today. So anyways, that is my 2023 reflections and my 2024 goals. I feel like really excited for this coming up year. Somebody said that 2024 is like an 8 year, so it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if you add all of the numbers together, and 8 is a great number of abundance. I also have 888 up on my wall of numbers here, and 888 is about balance. So that's all, like I need some balance in my life, right? It's all about that temperance card of the tarot. It's like trying to have harmony and everything come together. So anyways, I'm super excited about this and just continuing to work on myself and work on my spiritual practice. So let me know if you guys have any like big goals. I try not to be like too crazy with them and be like give myself grace if it's not something that I fully do. You know, a lot of people make resolutions and then they like fall off the wagon, which I totally relate to. So just be like kind to yourself, set goals and intentions that are attainable or that like you know is really important to you. And then give yourself grace if it doesn't like work right away, or if it takes some time, or if like you need to come back next year and do it again. That's just part of the human experience, right? So I love you guys so much. Please check out my other video where I was talking about body image and stuff. It was really fun to film that, and I want to keep doing videos like that. Are you guys excited for 2024? What's something you're excited for in 2024? 2024. I just can't believe it's 2024. Like I keep thinking it's like 2020 still. it's flown by. Anyways, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.